Aggressive jokes. There is a certain type of people who consider it their duty to respond to any phrase with an aggressive joke. To avoid responsibility, a person immediately resorts to defense, saying that it's just a joke. There's nothing to be offended by. People value a sense of humor sometimes, even more than intelligence or appearance. We tend to associate a good sense of humor with happiness, self-confidence, and a healthy outlook on life. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is the most primitive and painful type of manipulation. Every now and then, everyone hears from their loved ones, friends, children, or colleagues. If you do it this way, then I will do it that way. And blame yourself, or prove your love to me. Do as I ask. Participants in emotional blackmail are two people who have a close personal or intimate relationship, parent and child, spouses, siblings, two close friends. Children use special messages and emotional blackmail to advance their interests in the family system. Isolation. Once they have gained the victim's trust, a manipulator will often seek to isolate that person from friends and family. This may be achieved by monopolizing the victim's time, making it impossible to make other plans, or by planting seeds of distrust or resentment to come between the victim and their wider support network. Small instances of manipulation may occur in everyday life, and they don't necessarily make the relationship manipulative. However, if the behavior is a repeated pattern, it is important to consider if your partner is manipulating you. Silent treatment. Silencing is a passive-aggressive form of emotional warfare in which displeasure, disapproval, and contempt are expressed through nonverbal gestures while maintaining verbal silence. Can range from simple sulking to malicious abusive behavior control. A form of manipulation, formal rejection, and the most common form of ostracism. Silence and lack of response are not only passive-aggressive forms of manipulation and attention-seeking, they can also be used as tools to promote behavior change. Tactical ignoring is a strategy in which a person does not show any external signs of recognition of behavior, while there is no eye contact, verbal reaction, physical reaction, confirmation that the message has been read. Love bombing. Designation of attempts to influence a person with generous demonstrations of attention and affection. The phrase can be used in different ways. Members of the Unification Church, who reportedly coined the expression, use it to denote a genuine expression of friendship, fellowship, interest, or concern. The expression is also used to refer to abusers in romantic relationships who shower their victims with praise, gifts, and affection in the early stages of the relationship. Threats of coercion. Physical or mental coercion is the unlawful use of force, physical or mental, against a person, carried out with the aim of achieving that person commit a socially dangerous act against his will. This is another one of the random, supporting criminal acts. In reality, physical and mental coercion are rarely carried out separately from each other. As a rule, any physical coercion contains elements of mental influence, and mental coercion is accompanied by the use of physical violence. Shaming. The quality of an action, deed, or behavior of a person, group of people and others that has become known, visible, and evaluated by another person or community, society, in relation to which the so-called shame or shameful act is a violation of the generally accepted point of view, form of behavior, and environmental morality as regulating relations of people in society. The purpose of stigmatizing punishments is to attack human dignity. They do not punish a criminal act as such. Rather, they designate a deviant identity for others. They humiliate the person by characterizing him as bad and creating a tainted identity. Fake moralization. The position that nothing is inherently moral or immoral. For example, a moral nihilist believes that murder, regardless of its cause or circumstances, can be considered a bad or good act. From the point of view of the moral issue of nihilism, Morality is an artificial construct, a complex set of rules, adhering to which one can achieve certain benefits, psychological, social, economic. But it is impossible to talk about the truth of these rules because it is impossible to give meaning to this statement. Changing the subject. Usually, the manipulator tries to avoid answering when asked about the fact that he is behaving strangely, and with any attempt to talk or ask him about it, the manipulator either laughs it off or tries to change the subject. If this does not work out for him, aggression is used, or physical violence, but often it comes to this extremely rarely, ghosting. Ghosting is perhaps one of the most popularly used dating terms that has come into common use in the last few years. What it boils down to is a person suddenly cutting off a romantic partner, or someone with whom they had established a connection with no explanation. Because of the ubiquity of the term, however, it has been used to describe a wide range of behavior, a range so wide that using one term is insufficient and confusing. Projection. Projection in psychology is the mental process by which people attribute to others what is in their own minds. Britannica. For example, a narcissist who is insensitive shame and blame others are insensitive, and it drives the victim crazy. This is a powerful technique used by the narcissist. They refuse to own their faults and take responsibility, in turn, blaming others and projecting their insecurities onto their victims. Playing on insecurities. Dealing with people who play on your insecurities can be challenging. It's important to recognize that this behavior can be manipulative, as it involves exploiting your vulnerabilities for their own gain. Setting boundaries and communicating assertively can be helpful in these situations. Smear campaign. Definition. A smear campaign is an intentional, premeditated effort to undermine an individual's or group's reputation, credibility, and character. Like negative campaigning, most often smear campaigns target government officials, politicians, political candidates, and other public figures, shifting the goalpost. When a narcissist moves the goalposts, they constantly shift and redefine expectations so that they can never be met. It's a manipulation tactic and a form of gaslighting they use to make their partners feel worthless. Playing the victim? Playing the victim is a manipulative behavior where someone pretends to be a victim to gain attention, sympathy, or advantage. In personal relationships, signs of playing victim are red flags that need attention. Recognizing this behavior is the first step in dealing with it wisely.